August. I think I did see you. I saw you at the beginning of August on Friday, right? But we're going to say it again. Happy August. Happy Monday. It's a new week. It's a new month, and we got all new things to talk about. So come on and get comfy. Let's do just that. Today, we are going to be talking about Denise Richards. Let me tell you what. The R in Denise Richards stands for returning because she stays returning back to a Bravo project. Okay. Tell you more on that later and tell you a little bit more about the Beverly Hills Housewives and where we can maybe expect to see them head for a cast trip before they wrap up season 15 of filming. Also, y'all know Dolores loves to do her annual charity baseball game up in Jersey every year, and I have some questions about the lineup this year. And keeping it in the Jersey world, we are going to talk about a new podcast that has dropped featuring some of our favorite Jersey faces. So let's get started. I hope your weekend was lovely. Come chat with me. Tell me what was the highlight of your weekend? What was the worst part of your weekend? Did you find the love of your life? Did you break up with someone? You know, did a housewife piss you off? Did you watch an old episode that just made you smile? Tell me everything. Let's kiki. All right, we're gonna get started. Denise Richards, y'all know she's got a lot going on. We've talked here before about she is divorcing Aaron, and the divorce has gotten pretty nasty in terms of Denise, being brave and sharing her truth about abuse and just really horrible things that Aaron has said and done behind closed doors. A lot of us weren't too surprised considering we saw him make the comment about crushing her hand on camera a couple seasons ago. Regardless, happy that Denise is getting away from that situation. It does look like it's going to be a little bit of a legal battle for her, but one good thing about Denise Richards is that she is always ready to share her truth. And right now, in the midst of all this, everyone was like, oh my gosh, we need updates from Denise because it came out that her show wasn't going to be getting a season 2, Denise Richards and the Wild Things. So everyone was happy to see that Denise was spotted filming recently. Page 6 reported that Denise was spotted out in Beverly Hills filming on the heels of her divorce with Aaron. What looks like, just a check-in scene. She was not with everyone. She was with Sutton and Erika. I can't quite tell exactly where they were filming. I was trying to look in the background to see if never mind. At Madre in Los Angeles. See, sometimes you ain't got to be nosy and pry and find out things in an unconventional way. I was out here trying to look at street signs, look at graffiti art in the back, and compare it. Google search it. All I had to do was read the entire page 6 article. It told me exactly where they ate. It might even tell me what they had for dinner and what they tipped. Don't make life hard on yourselves like I do. The women ate at Madre in Los Angeles. Thank you, page 6, for telling me that. And it showed Denise walking in with she had this awesome pink outfit on, and she was carrying this purse like this, and it was like, I said, look at her. That is a woman ready to give content. She said, the check is cleared, the contract is signed, and I'm about to make more from this pickup scene than most of these girls do in 4 or 5 episodes. Yeah, I'll come air it all out about Aaron. Absolutely. Have my Caesar salad with a side of French fries and a Diet Coke and a tequila reposado waiting for me. That's Denise. And we should all aspire to be more like Denise because, again, as silly as, lots of Bravo conversations are and, topics in this world are, there is something beautiful about turning, a pain into something meaningful and turning a horrible situation into something that maybe hopefully could be positive, even if that positivity, be it a financial benefit, be it just a personal benefit as far as expressing oneself. Also, we have to consider the benefit of others at home who may resonate with something that Denise has to say, and it may land with them and inspire them to also step away from something that is a situation that's not serving them. So while we're sitting here and talking about, yes, Denise is back. She's going to come. She's looking hot AF. Can't wait to see what her and Erika are going to talk about. At the same time, proud of her for stepping up and sharing her truth, and to Bravo for giving her a platform to do so, especially on the heels of us knowing that her spinoff wasn't coming back. Like, how many other housewives do you know that maybe, well, also not every housewife even gets a spinoff, but if they did and it wasn't returning, that the network would immediately invite them back to film in some sort of capacity, even if it's just a guest or a one-off, to talk about what's going on. I think that's a really strong sign of trust and of a really good working relationship between Denise and NBC, So good for you, Denise. Glad you came on back for a couple scenes. And it makes me wonder too, had all of this unfortunate stuff with Denise happened earlier in, the year, had it all, like, had the timeline on that been shifted, would Bravo have maybe extended her a more solidified role? Because obviously I would imagine that they're probably towards the end of production at this point. I don't see this being a Phaedra thing where they bring her in and we acknowledge that she wasn't there for half the season, but then we, just pretend that she was the rest of the season. So I don't know that it would work in that way to fit this whole story into the season. But it just made me wonder, would that have been something that Bravo considered had they not been so deep into production and probably, laying out what their story will be for the year? But very, very curious. The Housewives of Beverly Hills are in the Hamptons right now. They're photographed, it seems like, everywhere they go now, when we didn't hear anything before. And we're not hearing anything as far as context of the show and feuds and fallouts and all of that, which makes me very excited because everything's going to be a surprise, But it is nice to see them all hanging out. And it seems like there's some women there that I don't recognize. Like my friend Kyle, who lives here in Charlotte, we always talk Housewives stuff. And he was texting me a video. It was like Dorit and Kyle, I believe, and Rachel, like dancing on, it was like a, like a dock kind of restaurant in the Hamptons. And there were like 2 or 3 random girls next to them. I was like, are these like those people that rush the stage at a Katy Perry concert? Or are these people that are involved in production, be it cast or crew? I don't know, because they didn't look like they didn't know each other. But guess who didn't know them? Me. I knew the first 3, Rachel, Kyle, Dorit, not the others. Who are you and what are you doing hanging out with my friends? So yeah, very curious to see. And also, yes, they are in the Hamptons right now. And like I said before, I would imagine that they probably will wrap filming somewhat soon. I feel like they've been filming for a bit now. Maybe that's just me. But the Sun, random, also reported this week that we can expect to see the Beverly Hills ladies take another trip, and it will be to somewhere that we have never seen another U.S. Housewives franchise go to for a cast trip. Australia. That's right. They are saying that the Housewives of Beverly Hills ladies will be heading to Melbourne, Australia, for a cast trip before season 15 comes to a wrap. I don't really know the context, or, because a lot of times cast trips have a reason, like Meghan King Edmonds going to needing to find her family on the streets after her ancestry DNA test came back, So I'm not sure what's in Australia, nor do I care. I'm just glad that they're going. And as someone who's been, a part of the Housewives chatter and conversation online for years, as far as like, talking with other viewers online and on Twitter and stuff like that, and live tweeting episodes over the years, I feel like there's been a very commonly shared desire for a cast to head to Australia or to head to New Zealand, because we hadn't seen that before. And I'm not really surprised that it's Beverly Hills, considering, like, if we're looking to the financials of it all, that cannot be a cheap cast trip, because you got, like, think of all the flights and stuff you're buying for cast alone. First class to, like, New Zealand or New Australia. Then you have to fly all of your crew down there. That's 20, 30. Well, I don't know if it's 20, 30 people, but I don't know how many people they send, and then some people have to go down before the crew and get all these shots, so they're there even longer. And then I'm sure you have to have insurance, and then you got to think about all the equipment. And anyway, it's expensive. Saying all that to say, considering Beverly Hills is one of the Housewives franchises, installments of the franchise that has held higher ratings throughout the years in the days of streaming and Peacock, etc., it doesn't surprise me to see they would be the ones to get this cast trip. despite it likely and very clearly being an expensive one, because they are still bringing the money in very clearly. And you remember, didn't they go to like Dubai? Weren't they the first Housewives cast to go to Dubai like years ago? Which, meanwhile, it's like, yes, I know Jen Shaw couldn't barely leave the Salt Lake County, but it's like they was out here going to Phoenix on cast trips. Just stay at home at that point. Stay at home. I would rather go to the Heather's Little Beauty Bar and get my lips filled for a cast trip than the Phoenix. Keep it, Whereas, like, tell me, where's somewhere that you haven't seen a Housewives cast go that you want to see them go? Like really, really good options, Because I feel like we've covered most of it. Like, I would love like a South Africa trip, but even Atlanta, they did that. Because that's when Candy like met Todd. Remember that? Like, because he was working in production. And Marlo was there. Sheree was there. That's when we had the iconic. So like, I would love to see another cast go there. I don't know, like an Alaska trip would be kind of cool. I don't know. Let's see. I really don't know. They have done it. Bravo has done a good job of taking us viewers to these places via these women over the years. So I can't think of anywhere else off the top of my head that I would want them to go, other than like Corpus Christi for a Selena celebration trip. And I don't know which cast is going to do that, but let me know because I'm joining them. Okay. Let's talk. Speaking of cast, let's talk about the Jersey cast. Now, y'all know Miss Dolores. She does her charity baseball event every year. We've seen it prior to Jersey going on pause or whatever it is. We saw multiple years of the charity baseball games, and the teams would be split, etc. Well, Dolores is, even though the show isn't on this year, she's still continuing with her charity tradition, which I think is amazing. And she announced this week that the lineup, because there's always different people from the Bravo world that come and participate. And so this year, she says the lineup here's our star-studded lineup for the Battle for Brooklyn. That's what she says. Dolores, Paul, Frank, Brittany, Little Frank. I don't know who that is. Margaret Josephs, Joe, Margaret's husband, Melissa, Joe Gorga, Antonia, Danielle, Nate, Jen Fessler, Jeffrey, and get this, Rachel and John Fuda. Okay, there's some other. We've got Gertie, Bob Harper, Kelly Ben Simone, Dorinda, some other, good, like recognizable faces on there. But who's not on there is Teresa. And I don't like it because I feel like maybe she's busy. I don't know. I hope she's busy. And that's why she couldn't be there. She did comment like hearts under it, like in support. But I don't know. Dolores has always been, they call her Switzerland and stuff. But I don't know. It just didn't feel good to me. And maybe Teresa is choosing not to go because she doesn't want to be in that situation, in which case, good for her, for boundaries, totally. But I don't know. I just didn't like seeing that she's basically her and Jen, Aiden are literally the only cast members not included. And when in many other cities, that would not even cause the blink of an eye, not being invited amongst Housewives casts. In Jersey, where Dolores and Teresa have had this long-standing relationship, I want Teresa at the baseball game, Dolores. I do. So am I going to make it to the baseball game? Probably not. Am I still trying to have a say in the lineup? You betcha. Sorry. Speaking of Jersey, though, too, and I mentioned Jen Fessler for the lineup, she is linking up with a Giudice for a podcast. That's right. Jen Fessler and Gia are teaming up for a podcast about sorority life. So I'm guessing Gia was, I don't remember if Gia posted about being like in a sorority or rushing and all that stuff during her college days, but I'm assuming she did. And I'm guessing Jen Fessler was a sorority girly back in the day. So yeah, they're coming together for a podcast. And look, I don't know anything about sorority life, but I love when there's a podcast that's unexpected, you know, because like it obviously it's a very saturated market and world, and like because there's so many conversations to have, you know, and like so I think that when someone steps out and it's just, you know, a duo or in this case trio because they're hosting with someone else too that you didn't expect, it's like, oh, you know, good for you, creativity. So good for them. Let's go back and look and see what y'all were saying. Mel NYC, my boo. Maybe the Beverly Hills girls will get an unhinged reading from Jackie. Listen, I need Gina Liano in the highest heels you've ever seen in your life and has sprayed enough hairspray in that hair of hers to bring down the plane before it even gets there. I want her waiting at baggage claim for these women saying, oh my God, whenever someone told her one time, they said, Gina, it makes me sick to look at you. She said, well, don't look, darling. Oh, perfect. I don't know. I just want her to welcome them with a sign. Don't look, darling. But yes, on the heels of what you were saying, Mel, we need a Housewives of Melbourne, Housewives of Beverly Hills crossover. 100%. I wonder if any of them know each other. I feel like they might, because like Melbourne was on for a little while and it was, you know, surely they have to, some of them have to have connections, right? Let's hope. Let's see. Someone said, just realized none of the Housewives of Bravo, none of the Housewives of Bravo. None of the Housewives of Beverly Hills are married, all going through divorce. Listen, don't talk about my girl Kyle like that. I'm still not used to it. I don't like it. I haven't accepted it. And Kyle and the D word don't go in the same sentence as me. But to, you know, respond to what you said, I love that. I don't, oh, no. I don't love that everybody's getting a divorce, you know, because in the words of Vicky Gunvalson, God hates divorce. But as a viewer, I welcome a multitude / group of women who from different walks of life who are going through a shared experience, be it the ending of a marriage. While I don't wish that on anybody, if you're going through it, I think a great way to do that is to have people around you as support who have done it before or are going through the same thing. Community, divorce community, you know, gated community. That's what Housewives is about. So, yeah. Other than Kyle, bring it on. That's horrible. Lord God. Gina messing up everybody's towel with her spray tan. Listen, they won't even have time to get the towels out. They're already passed out from the fumes of from the hairspray, and rightfully so. I'll give her a bottle too. Oh, I love Gina Liano, one of the greatest housewives of all time. God, we need Melbourne. I need to find a way to go back and watch Melbourne because that is top tier television. Top tier. Oh my gosh. Maybe that's what I'll do today when I get off of here. I'll keep y'all posted. All right, everybody. Well, as always, thank you so much for coming to hang with me and kicking off your week with me. I love you for it. I will, you know what? It was so much fun. Why don't we do it again? I'll meet you right back here Wednesday and Friday, same time, 3 p.m. on Hurrdat's YouTube. And who knows what we'll have to talk about between now and then. As always, it wouldn't be me if I didn't end this chat by saying, for the love of God, bravo, give us a Salt Lake City trailer. We're desperate. All right, everybody. Besos, have a good day. Give somebody some love and whoop it up, even though it's a Monday, right? Bye.